Hello? Yes, I can.
Yo, what is going on, everybody? We are live now. It is 2 p.m. Here we have Faith on the red side versus Guardian Gaming blue side. Best of 3 series. I am Xdon, and I'm going to be casting with Starman today. What's going on?
What's up, guys? Starman's back at him alongside my good buddy Xdon. We're going to absolutely crush this today. Looks like both teams are finally ready. Had a little bit of time to get thoughts processed, and we're going to be getting out on that rift very soon.
Just to let everybody know what's going on in Champ Select here, Faith is going to lose 2 bans for unofficial roster. And I'm a liar. We're going to just give us one moment.
There it is. There's the absolutely flawless League of Legends client that's going to result in Last 8 kind of crash that we're so accustomed to when we deal with these custom-made matches. But I'm sure we'll get that resolved very quickly, get this back on. Gotta absolutely love the client. Yes, I can do Tourney Draft.
And here we are back again. I'll do the intro one more time. We have Guardian Gaming on the blue side. We have Have Faith on the red side. The battle for second place, really up in the standings matchup here. Just so everybody knows, I am XDon. I'm casting with my boy Starman. How's it going?
Going pretty good as we finally get back after that. If you start there, and already one ban off the side there. I'm excited to see this matchup overall because, I mean, they're pretty high in the standings, like you said, second place. This is really bragging rights area where you can be like, yeah, we're top 3 team. So this is going to be hopefully a pretty exciting one with a lot of back and forth and maybe a bloodbath.
That's what I am hoping for. As with most of these games, they are very kill heavy. Just so everybody knows, Have Faith loses 2 bans here because of unofficial roster members. So that is why that is happening. On the side of Guardian Gaming though, banning out the Lee Sin and the Yasuo. Not wanting to have to deal with those 2 high mobility champions.
I feel like the Yasuo ban is just overall pretty good. Yasuo's strong right now. And I don't think that necessarily even has to be targeted towards anyone in particular, just to say, we don't want Yasuo played top or mid. I mean, he could go a lot of different places, and frankly, he's just really strong, doesn't have a lot of powerful counters that are good in the meta right now. Except for the one they just banned out.
Yeah, and with the decrease in cost of crit items, Yasuo has definitely become pretty pesky, but Galio going to go ahead and be banned here as Have Faith's only first round ban. But with Guardian able to pick up basically whatever they want here, they decide to go ahead and first pick the Caitlyn for Mr. Jeremy, and I'm a huge fan of that decision.
Yeah, I think Caitlyn is just a super powerful AD carry. As you said, the cost decrease to crit items, that's really good for Caitlyn too. She wants to build crit, and she has that range. I think she scales really well into the late game damage-wise. She doesn't fall off near as much as she used to several patches ago. I think she's probably top tier AD material right now.
Yeah, absolutely. She basically kind of like guarantees like a pretty safe bot lane just with how much pressure she puts out. But that is probably the most aggressive support jungler combo you can pick on this patch with the Thresh and Elise. So much gank potential throughout the map. Whether Thresh wants to roam, if Elise wants to go bot, you click the lantern, you're guaranteed to hop on the one of the bot laners there.
Yeah, no, that's crazy. I absolutely love that. But as you said, Guardians can just pick whatever they want, and they get another power pick, Zac. I mean, Zac Caitlyn versus Elise Thresh. Honestly, there's no real win in that ban phase there.
No, not really. Zac jungle will be pretty good. Will scale up pretty well, and when they do start hitting the team fights, and that's probably going to be a Morgana support there to counteract the Thresh. Not wanting Mr. Jeremy to be hooked at all, will have that black shield to dodge the Cocoon and Death Sentence.
Yeah, I definitely think the Morgana is a pretty solid pickup for Amalius there. and it's going to keep Jeremy safe a little while longer. But the amount of magic damage that's been drafted onto the comp already of Have Faith with Orianna, with Elise, and Thresh dealing magic damage on his autos, that Black Shield is going to go very fast if it is not maxed.
Well, and you can see that's oh, they might suspect that to be a Karma mid lane, seeing as they do go ahead and ban out the Karma.
That wouldn't be too bad. Karma mid would work pretty well for Guardian Gaming here. LeBlanc and Karma both being picked out. Obviously, Orianna not wanting to deal with LeBlanc in lane, and later on, LeBlanc is going to be able to really get a feel for Caitlyn. But again, I feel like LeBlanc, maybe not. LeBlanc might work with their team, but I feel like she'd be a little bit lackluster. They're probably looking for his own control mage to go alongside the Caitlyn and the Zac.
Yeah, most likely let Zac get into the middle of things, mess everything up, maybe with like a Victor, something along those lines. As you mentioned, the huge amount of AP damage on the side of Have Faith. They go ahead and lock in the late game hypercarry Tristana. Maybe if she can get the resets into the fight, she can hop, skip, and jump her way to a victory. I'm really excited to see that pick.
Yeah, I think that's a really solid pick for the team. I think you're going to be putting yourself in a hard situation lane-wise, because that means Thresh is probably going to have to roam around to get kills. Caitlyn's going to be really oppressive in that lane, and with Morgana kind of negating most of his aggression, I think he's going to have to go elsewhere, so that's going to make it even harder for Tristana probably to survive. But if she does survive, that's just a massive backing to have when you have Orianna and Elise. You have the pick potential, but at the same time, with the Shockwave, you can really keep the enemy team at bay because they cannot overcommit when you're able to just pull them all together.
And here we go with the two solo lanes locked in on Guardian Gaming. They go with the Gnar top lane, super oppressive, was just recently buffed. And they go with the Vladimir in the mid to basically just have a nice time with your tower against the Orianna. I don't think there's too much kill pressure there unless Zac's able to get off a pretty good gank. And there we go with the Renekton top lane, trying to play it into the Gnar. I think that's a little bit of a rough matchup without jungler assistance. Gnar just classically known to pressure all melee lanes. Who do you think went out in the draft phase here?
If I'm totally honest, I think draft-wise, champ-wise, I think definitely Guardian Gaming, and it's to be expected. They have obviously the band advantage, and I think they really pushed that. They banned out a lot of target champions, and then that kind of forced the side of Have Faith to ban out specifically what they wanted and really focus down to what they wanted. They didn't get to ban out Zac and Caitlyn, which I both think are pretty staple bans right now, both in solo queue and in the league, because they're just really, really good picks. And in the midst of all that, Vladimir falls through the cracks. Vladimir, I think, is pretty strong right now. And as you mentioned, Gnar, there's not even a thought to banning Gnar because he's so in the back of your mind. But I think it is a really solid pickup for their team. So I'd say solid win for Guardian Gaming coming out of draft phase.
Do agree with you there. Their team fight is just so massive. If Gnar's able to get the Mega Gnar off, Zac wanting to let's bounce the carries back into the team. There's not too many dive threats on the side of Have Faith. They do have the Renekton. Maybe Orianna can get a pretty key Shockwave onto the backline. But Guardian Gaming just has so many people that can go forward. Literally everyone on that team, their job is to go forward except for the Caitlyn. Hopefully, maybe with a Vision Control, Thresh, Elise, they get a couple picks, snowball the game. We'll have to see what happens here.
Yeah, I definitely think that Have Faith is not out of this game. I think they have a weaker comp overall, but the early game pressure with Thresh and Elise, if they get to roaming together, I mean, they complement each other so well. It's one of my favorite combos for getting ahead early. It's right up there with Lee Sin and Rakan. It's just great with the mobility they have. So, I mean, if they can move up and they can catch out Vladimir, which is going to be pretty hard, or if they can work together to secure that bot lane or invade, something like that, then I think they could definitely snowball the game. Because I think early, they're definitely stronger. Vladimir notoriously weak early, so they have a pressure point there they can push.
Yeah, maybe they can pick up a couple dragons off the rotations because Guardian Gaming definitely drafted a comp that likes to stay in lane till maybe around the level 9 point where you're starting to hit your spikes on most of those champions. So if they're able to get some before 20 minutes, if they're able to get something started, then that's their window of opportunity here.
Yeah, and I definitely think the Vision War is also going to be in their favor because Zac can't really ward by himself. I mean, he can. Morgana's kind of the same way. If they go out warding by themselves and they get caught, they're going to be killed. Whereas at least she has escapes and Thresh can hook to creeps or just go ham on them and bring in teammates. So they have a lot more likelihood of being able to play that ward game a lot closer to the edge. So I feel like early Have Faith just has the advantage, especially if they can push it on that bot side, like you said, maybe pick up a dragon. And then if Elise can rotate top with some extra power, she can force off a Herald even. But I think top side is where Guardian Gaming has the strongest play early between Zac and Gnar. I think that 2v2 beats out the 2v2 of Renekton and Elise.
Yeah, it's super like CC chain reliant on the side of Renekton and Elise. If they're able to lock down one target, they might be able to burst them before either Zac or Gnar is able to ramp up too much damage there. So 100% agree with you on that. But also, like you said, if Elise is able to carry over like a pretty strong advantage from the bot side and maybe is able to secure a rift, then that just allows Renekton to be a force roaming along the map, and they can start taking down the towers with Tristana.
Yeah, and that's leaving even Orianna out of the equation. We don't know what she's. Might want to stay in lane and try to pressure Viktor out, or she could choose to roam around too. She has a little bit of mobility with the speed up from the distortion, and definitely has the potential to catch out early. And she also has pretty good damage early, so we could see her trying to force the issue with the Elise or with the Elise Thresh combo. But I wouldn't really count on that. I think that's kind of like wild card area. So it looks like the delay timer's up, so we finally get to see exactly what it is we're talking about as we load into this game. And the skin war is going to be oh so important.
Just glad the client didn't crash here. We're loading up, having our beautiful player cards here.
Yes, absolutely. It's always kind of heart-stopping when the client just goes black.
Little bit scary, but let's take a look at the mastery choice here. Morgana choosing to go with the Thunderlord's Ignite, wanting the pressure. Thresh opting for the exhaust. A little bit, giving up a little bit of advantage in lane. Maybe just wanting to carry it over into the later parts of the game. We see Orianna taking the Ignite for the Vladimir. And Renekton with
Definitely
the Feather of Battle, trying to go for the trades on Gnar.
Yeah, and I think both top laners taking teleports pretty standard. I would have thought maybe Renekton would have gone Ignite, but it would have been pretty selfish and possibly not paid off in the end. But I definitely agree. Maybe if Thresh had taken Ignite, he definitely would have a better chance of killing Mr. Jeremy in lane. But maybe he's just committed to not really fighting that lane. I'm not sure. We'll have to see as it plays out if he's really into the roaming or if he wants to stick close and try and just force out that lane. Either way, I think Morgana could be a thorn in his side all game. Pretty standard itemization as well, it looks like, coming out. Pretty much everyone, neither AD opted for the Doran's shield. Orianna left base without items. That's interesting.
Yeah, maybe just wanting the vision control. Sorry about that.
Not a problem.
Maybe just wanting the vision control early. Will they run back? That could be a really big mistake. The nerves might be getting to him.
30 seconds until
Huh.
spawn.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure
what
either. It
Morgana
doesn't
did.
look like he's gonna go ahead and start with items, giving the gold lead instantly to Guardian Gaming. About 500 there. I think someone told him he's gonna go ahead and recall now. Would have
he
been
was thinking, hey, I don't need
very
items.
questionable.
Yes, highly questionable, especially versus the Vladimir there. So now we have more standard starts. It looks like both top laners actually opted for Doran's shield as well. So both opting for the slightly more defensive option, but really not that much more defensive than Doran's blade, since Doran's blade gives health back too.
Yeah, absolutely. Both AD carries going with the Doran's blade as well. Surprised Tristana didn't go with Doran's shield, but should be fine if she takes the Lifesteal Masters.
Yep, I think she'll probably be fine, but I definitely would have expected the shield just because you're going to be poked out a little bit by Caitlyn. But I guess it really doesn't matter that much. So it looks like Zac cleared first, but went lower in that jungle clear.
Yeah, surprised he didn't start Raptors either, wanting to leash from the bot lane instead. Zac, one of those champions that is able to easily do Raptors.
Yeah, and that's just going to give you that aggressive start that you may want. Although maybe he's just not thinking about invading Elise. That is a deadly prospect, especially level 3 or level 2. I think level 5 is probably better chance for him to invade. I think he scales better at about level 5. But his level 3 I don't think is the strongest.
Yeah, everyone on Guardian side right now, they just want to farm. Farm, ward up, find where Elise is, and pretty much never fight until everyone has ultimates.
Yeah, that's pretty.
That's the dream.
Pretty
That's the dream for their composition.
There.
That's the dream for their composition. If they're not
No.
able to do that, then they have to just like minimize if they lose anything from the Elise ganks.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. That is what their comp wants to do, but can they really bring themselves to do that? I mean, let's be real. This is max gold. Come on, we gotta fight. We gotta have some fights going on. Vladimir actually already a little aggressively positioned. He might go in on Elise. Yeah, he is, and there's TSM Teemo trying to escape. Ignite's ticking.
Orianna able to get the shield.
So
Save
Ignite
his
used.
life. That's a little weird invade there. He warded the Raptors and just walked up into him.
That's very awkward, and Ricky was right there to help support him if he had to fall back. But obviously Vladimir was just thinking, here I am, on my own, I'm going to try and do this thing. Flay goes down, Jinx to victory, level 3. Heads up though, Ricky Ninja's here now, and he's looking to get the knock-up. Does go down, hand cam. Not able to put the damage. Maybe if he had Ignite, he would be able to.
Yeah, it doesn't blow any summoners in the mid lane, which is pretty big there. Does get all the potions out of Orianna, though. Won't just be able to inadvertently shove into the Vladimir.
Yeah, that's definitely going to make it just a little bit harder, but like you say, no summoners blown, so it's not the worst.
No, not at all. And as we saw there a little bit, those trades bot side, we saw the Black Shield able to save Emialda's life from the death sentence. And so if they're able to just fight around that cooldown, then they should be okay in that bot lane.
I definitely think so. If they could just kind of keep safe, maybe give up a few CS when that's on cooldown, they should be fine. Looks like Frigid is going Mega Gnar. TSM Teemo's in the wings, just waiting. He knows there's not a huge chance of getting something here. Not going to push that.
You see Zach hovering around the bot side. I believe he was spotted out over that ward in the tri-brush. Not going to stop him, though. He's going to try and sneak into the bottom brush here.
Meanwhile, Elise is evading his top side, and she has significantly less CS than him, almost half. So that's going to be good for her to get some of the CS back and deny him some, maybe get back in the game. That invade did put her behind a decent amount, although she has levels on Zach.
No, very smart move there from TSM Teemo, noticing that their jungler was on the bot side. Immediately goes over to his top side jungle, clears that out for him. Picking back up bits and pieces.
I'm sure he won't thank Teemo for that one. Wow, Fridge losing a bit of a trade there, and we were talking about that matchup. Nars should be able to kind of pressure out Hello, I am Kebab, but it's really not happening.
The flash cocoon under tower, though.
Wow, there we go. First blood. And nice. Good repel. Gonna dodge that tower shot.
Very, very
TSM Teemo.
clean execution.
Yeah, no, that was very well done, and definitely would have liked to see maybe Fridge predict that a little bit, but I don't know there's really anything he could do. He just got pushed in. He was low.
Now, the best thing he
Good
could have done was
capitalization.
possibly just ward behind him, but like you were saying, that matchup we thought was going to go to Nar's favor. Hello, I am Kebab, able to bully him out, get him to below half health under tower. But it's pretty much easy for Elise to just walk in there and pick up the kill.
Yeah, and that's exactly what she did. I think just good communication and good optimization of the lane there, because Elise was already topside anyway. So it's a small mistake that Zach was bought. Not really a mistake, just opportunity. Zach didn't have the pressure top, and they took advantage of it.
Yeah, we talked about tracking the Elise in the early game, and that's the main objective for Guardian here. Now, they didn't lose too much. Gnar is a bit behind. Renekton does have the Tiamat now. We'll be able to auto-shove those waves in. But again, this is all about like minimizing the losses pre-20 minutes. So
Yeah.
they're not out of the game yet, but definitely a very good
And
first game.
I think giving kills to Renekton pre-20 isn't near as bad as elsewhere it could be, so that's definitely not the worst case scenario. Little trade and hand cam there.
not giving the second blue to the Ori. Should be fine with the Lost Chapter. CS basically even in the mid and bot side of the map. Big advantage there in the top side. Dark Binding does miss.
That's gonna be a lot of jungle pressure at the bot side right now. Both junglers are down there, so I think they're both looking at maybe that dragon or just the free gank here. On the bot side, Elise is gonna get put in that bush, and I don't believe she's been spotted. Wow,
There was
very
a ward
close.
in
Oh,
the
yeah.
second bush there. They should know this is happening.
They should, and Ninja's there. It might come to try for the counter gank, but looks like they're just gonna say, hey, just leave the pressure, and we'll go do something else.
Looks
Oh,
like
nope.
they're still going for it.
They're committed. They're committed. Another trade, and Hello, I'm Kebab coming out on top of that one too. Like you say, with the Tiamat now over just the long sword and the ruby crystal, he's going to have a lot better chance of winning out that lane. Heavy pushing under tower, and Nar's going to have a little difficulty CSing, but not too much, I would imagine.
Yeah, I would have liked to see seen a play from Have Faith here to try and secure that dragon. Maybe hopefully get the cloud one out of the way. Maybe get for better luck at a mountain or an infernal. And not to say that the movement speed wouldn't have helped them with these early game plays, because Thresh and Elise definitely want that statistic.
And
Here we go with a
Zach,
gank.
top. Desperoso's shockwave goes down. Hamcam taking some damage, but that is going to be his ultimate and ignite proccing to secure the kill. No chance for help from Elise.
Yeah, flash used from the Zac as well as ignite, picking up the kill onto the Orianna, who's kind of disrespecting all the angles that Zac could gank.
Yeah, I think Zac hasn't ganked mid more than twice now, and I think she just hasn't really, because the first one was so ineffective. I think she just wasn't expecting him. But like we said, early levels, Zac maybe not as powerful. Now he's level 7. He's got his ultimate. He needs to be respected, and the distance on the Elastic Slingshot cannot be underestimated, or you're going to find yourself face down in the mid lane.
Well, here's something interesting. We're 10 minutes into this game, and bot lane hasn't backed yet.
Oh, I didn't even notice that. That is crazy. That's going to be a lot of gold on all the laners down there. So really, whoever backs first should be able to come back and get that dragon very easily. If they back and give up a wave of creeps, grab their items, and come back to lane, they should be able to burn that down if they coordinate with the jungler, get that dragon before the enemy lane comes back with their items.
If one of the junglers noticed this and they're able to get up a teleport play, they should be pretty easy to go ahead and pick up a kill. No damage coming out from either AD carry at this point.
Yeah, it's really just the utility from the supports, the scaling that they have right now. There's no items, so that's free kills for pretty much anyone who wants to push their item advantage, such as Renekton, who does have teleport, or Gnar, who also has teleport.
Yeah, and something I want to note on the minimap that I'm really happy about, you see Guardian Gaming, they have a complete line across the map of pink wards to spot whenever
Yeah.
Elise tries to enter that jungle.
That's a really good defensive move, like you said. Invest in that world wards early and try to last out till 20 minutes. But they're not even going to try and wait for the backing. They're going to go straight for this dragon here.
Yeah, they feel the
CS17
pressure,
though.
they want to go for the objective here. It should be pretty free unless a Bark Binding does steal it. It doesn't though. Good smite.
It's going to be Smite is good, like you say, and that's going to be Cloud Drake. So not the worst thing to give up, but it definitely benefits Have Faith more than it benefits Guardian Gaming, or would have benefited Guardian Gaming, because Have Faith really wants those rotations. So that was good. Dragon Call, like I say, I would have preferred if it would have been more solid if they had backed first and got their items. But at some point, they're going to have to back. It's going to have to happen, right?
Here we go, a gank onto
Here
the
comes
bot
Zac, Dark
side.
Binding does connect, and that's going to be Zac coming in. Nans the knockup. Flashes go out from both of the bot laners. No, excuse me. Not from Clumsy. He does not flash. Here's Elise, though, and that's going to be Morgana taking some damage. Ignite goes down. Black Shield teleport coming in. That's going to be Hello, I'm Kebab coming in. Zac goes deep with the Elastic Slingshot. Is he too deep? No. Brings them all right back. Caitlyn picks up the kill onto Elise, and that's going to be Thresh going down alongside Tristana. And now it's the big alligator, and he's nothing to the Croc Tamers in the bot lane.
That was a huge fight for Guardian Gaming. Like, absolutely massive. They go ahead and pick up 4 kills for nothing. Teleport came in from both top laners. We thought Renekton might have a pretty big impact here, but the Narbar came in just in time, slammed him into the wall, and he wasn't able to do anything. Zac able to occupy the backline during that fight. They knew their priority targets. Elise tried to go in onto the Morgana, thinking she had a pick there, but just not enough damage.
Yeah, the Black Shield came in again right there and just curbed that damage a little bit, and even so, without it, I don't know that she would have had enough to really make the kill. Either way, the bot laners were pretty much just children in the hands of giants there between the two top laners and the junglers. That was just crazy. And I believe, yeah, also mid laners were involved a little bit later on in that fight. So that was just a really great counterplay by everyone, honestly. It was good teleport by Hello M Kebab, an even better one by Fridge, and just great team coordination, like you said, all Guardian Gaming just popping up their way.
Yeah, everything
But
that could
now we
have
have
gone
items.
wrong in that fight did go wrong for the side of Have Faith there. Maybe call for the Orianna to roam down, hit a shockwave, but it just no damage came through.
So the lane swap goes through, and that's going to be Hello M Kebab, caught with that Dark Binding initially, probably off guard a little bit. So that is a lane swap initiated by Guardian Gaming. Interesting. I think it's interesting that they swap out when Dragon's going to be coming up in the next, I think, 3 minutes. So are they pressuring for Herald? What's going on? Or they just want the tower? I don't...
It could be the case they noticed Gnar needed some help in the top side, so in order to minimize any form of advantage there, and you can see he's able to 1v1 Tristana, has the Frozen Mallet.
Wow. That's just going in and in. We don't get to see it. Shockwave comes in, hand cam to get him slated off. Don't know what happened, but Hello M Kebab's going in. TSN Teemo just barely misses the cocoon. Spiraling deals damage to Emilius. Repel comes in. He's very close, very low, and that's going to be 1 kill for the Spider Woman. Are they diving? No, they're not.
Yeah, that was fights breaking out literally in every lane at the same time. Just to summarize what happened, Thresh was able to get Tristana out of the Gnar's clutches. It's not over yet, though. Elise being ganked up by the Zac, and that'll be a dead Spider. Squashing the bug. Stayed a little bit too long. Tried to have a greedy recall.
Yep, absolutely. They just knew. They said, hey, she's in that bush. Let's get him. Easy gold pickup for Guardian Gaming once again. 6-2, so they're taking a small gold lead. And if they continue this trend, they're well on their way to reaching their 20-minute goal of not being behind.
Oh yeah, not even behind, just with an actual gold lead.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Elise is trying her best to get something happening on the map, but something to note there, the side of wait, is there gonna be a kill here? Fridge, hungry.
Wow.
With the Frozen Mallet.
There goes his ultimate, and Clumsy has the bomb onto him now.
Misplaces the W, and that might be the end of him, actually.
Oh, nice jump to get on the other side of Fridge. Make sure you can't try to get away. Oh, no!
Oh!
They kill each other!
That was, I don't know who outplayed who, or what misplayed what, but he made the best of a bad situation after missing the W. And then goes ahead and throws a rock into the face of Tristana. And if I know anything, Yordles do not like giant boulders thrown at their face.
No, it's absolutely correct. That was some Yordle on Yordle combat, too, of all things. So, looks like this top tower is going to probably go down. Hello, M Kebab trying to make something happen, but it's not going to come through for him, I don't think.
Zac's going to be able to stop them from getting this tower here. The Cocoon does miss. He bounces them up under the tower. They don't have minions. They need to be a little bit careful. Thresh barely gets out of there alive.
Yeah, that was pretty spicy, and I'm not sure they wanted to go in that deep on that one. And now with both towers in the side lanes gone, they need to respond to the pressure from Guardians Gaming somehow.
He's not done. He wants to go in. He's able to slap him up into a minion. Is Gnar able to do anything else? Doesn't look like it. He takes the Dark Passage out of there.
Yeah, he's going to be able to slink on out of the way. And wow, this is pretty good damage by Orianna. She has not gone full damage items, looks like. Morgana defending against 2 here topside. They're probably going to get this one. Oh no, Tristana, I overestimated her damage. Just IE. Here comes Hamcam. Here comes Emilius. Are they going to do it? Heads up, Mr. Jeremy and Dispartius. There goes the Shockwave. Ignite goes down as well. Easy
Just
pickup.
Too far up in that lane. does Aratus able to just notice, hey, you have 2 members top, everyone else is recalling, I'll pick up a nice solo kill.
Yeah, that's just the Lady of Clockwork going like clockwork.
What do you think Oriana's actually building right now? A
Rod of Ages? Oh, there we go, okay.
That's a Hextech GOP?
Alright.
That's really delaying her damage.
I agree. It's 80 AP, but I would have expected something very much more on the damage heavy side. Maybe even Rabadon's this early, or Luden's Echo, I guess. Something. I agree. I think that's delaying the damage just a little bit. And right now, that's not what they want, because Guardian Gaming's late game is going to be
Guardian Gaming
better.
late game is approaching pretty fast. We now have level 11 or level 2 ultimates on the Gnar and the Vladimir. In a team fight, those are going to be absolutely massive. Unfortunately, a little bit of a AoE slow isn't what's going to stop their front line from just decimating.
Yeah, good work over here from Amelia's trying to fight back on the Vision. Oh, Teemo's in a little trouble, uses that seed to get out. Oh, good teleport by Frigid, though. Here comes the teleport, counter by Hello I'm Kebab.
He does have the Mega Gnar, slams him into the tower. Dark Binding follows up.
It's going to connect, and that's going to be Frigid fighting all 4 members on his own. And here comes the repel, and TSM Teemo flashes away. That's going to be Frigid trying for the chase. Ace in the hole does collect the cards. Jinx to victory, trying to escape. Oriana's on the backside of the fight, fighting against Ricky Ninja. Again, there's the damage. She needs a little bit more, but it's not going to be there, and the tankiness surely
throw him into the Rift Herald.
Rift Herald, help, please! It's not going to do anything. Flash Dark Binding does connect.
They're not done.
It's canceled. Dark Passage not there as well. Jinx to victory is going to get picked up, but that's going to be Clumsy edging out of that, barely.
Every fight is not going their way right now. Oriana wasn't able to make it to either team fight. Zac almost 1v1ing as she tried to roam up there. Great teleports, both team fights by Fridge, having the Mega Gnar ult ready. And that takes a lot of skill to use. That's not like an understatement. Like, being able to control your bar is very, very impressive.
Every time he comes in, either just having transformed to Mega Gnar or almost transformed to Mega Gnar, every time is really, really good. And just fantastic bar management from him. And every single fight, it seems like he's too tanky.
Basically.
Tristana and TSM Teemo were all wailing away on him. Hello, I'm Kebab, trying to get some damage. It wasn't happening at all.
Will he go ahead and steal this dragon?
He wants it. TSM Teemo, they're both taking a little bit of damage here, but the Spider Lady might get squashed. Nope, and that's going to be Elise actually securing it, although she will die.
Sorry.
Good, cool smite there. That was a lot of pressure onto the Spider Lady. Just really good focus to be able to get that dragon.
Yeah, so that's
so now what's the game plan?
Two Windrakes for Have Faith here, but it might just be a little bit too late. I think Have Faith's game plan has to be to ward up, watch them go for a rotation, and then pick somebody off with the Thresh, with the Elise. At that point, it's really your only hope at trying to claw back into this game.
Clumsy almost fighting it there. No, I think you're right. They might be able to do something late game. They have the pick potential to kill a carry, but it's just going to get harder and harder as the game goes on, and that front line gets bigger and bigger, and they group more. Like we're seeing now, 3 bot with the Herald. This is going to be devastating.
Yeah, they're just not able to team fight. And honestly, at this point, they can send Gnar off into a side lane with the Frozen Mallet, with the Black Cleaver halfway completed. Renekton still doesn't have a finished item, and we're 21 minutes into the game.
He was definitely winning that lane, but the teleport plays have gone the way of Gnar, and he's gotten quite a bit of gold from those.
Yeah, 3, 2, and 3 Gnar. So pesky to deal with. Anybody that matches him in that side lane has to be very wary of him just wanting to engage.
Yeah, because he can use the highly controversial run at you comp, or strategy, where he just runs at you and auto attacks the whole time. It's very, very possible. With that boomerang, it's really easy to chase people down alongside, Frozen Mallet slow. It's crazy. And now Guardians Gaming has a very easy game, really, if they just play this right.
Yeah, they should probably just set up around the Baron, get the vision control, look for a pick with the Dark Binding, with the Zac engage, and then just basically try and team fight at this point.
Yeah, I have to agree. If they try to go one-on-one, they can come on top because Gnar can 1v1 probably anyone on the side of Have Faith, but they really still have to be careful of getting caught out, and the Elise Thresh CC combo, or Elise Renekton, or really any of the CC combos can bring one person low very fast, especially Morgana or Caitlyn.
Taking a quick look at items across the board, Mr. Jeremy still not finished with the Infinity Edge. We'll have that completed on the next time he backs. Tristana gotta stack up that crit as fast as possible. Somebody has to be the one to kill these tanks, and it looks like the job's gonna be left up to her. But we might not see her come online for another 10-15 minutes, really.
No, I think you're absolutely right. She's only got the Infinity Edge Zeal really, really behind in terms of overall damage against these tanks who are already building such big items. Kebab goes in, Cocoon doesn't land, and that's a trap actually from Caitlyn that's going to result in so much damage. Frozen Mallet, here comes the Mega Gnar. He's very big. Ace in the hole goes down, no kills. Oh, but the ball goes in. Nice three-man shockwave, but it doesn't matter. Handcam is on Destrarius as well as Clumsy. He's going to pick up one kill, but heads up, there comes the Mega Gnar, and he does land the ultimate. Caitlyn goes over the wall, is dealing damage after damage, and now it's 3-2. No, it's not. Bam! That's a bunch of kills going on. I can't even keep track. All members of Have Faith are taken down.
That seemed kind of like a desperation engage. Putting the ball onto the Thresh, having him flash play into the middle of the fight. It didn't hit any priority members. I think that went on to Vladimir and Zach, who are both just too tanky at that point.
Yeah. It hit Orianna, Vladimir, and Zach, and that's just it was good for displacement, but Vladimir instantly just pulled to the back line.
Well, and Orianna doesn't have any damage.
Yeah,
with that item build, it's just no damage coming through on their side. So that engage kind of just went south really fast when they realized there's nothing to follow up this CC.
Now Tristana just is not able to kill Hamcam, which is not surprising at all. Like you say, she's not online, not by a long shot, so they have to have damage from somewhere. And right now, honestly, their biggest damage is from TSM Teemo.
Yeah, with the Liandry's, that's going to be able to melt the tanks a little bit, but he's not going to be able to 1v5. He's very squishy with that build. One ability hits and he goes down.
Most of his damage is going to be focused on one target. He's not going to be able to kill multiples. So really, they have to turtle it out a little bit until their carries come online. So Jinx to victory is going to throw out the ward there, try and get some vision back, get rid of the pinks. 2 pinks in the dragon, or the Baron pit, excuse me. I love that strategy. It's great. Dark Binding does connect. Mr. Jeremy misses everything? Okay. Take a minute, buddy. Aim. Thought you were a sniper.
Alright, so looking at the map here, the play for Guardian right now is to have Gnar split up, draw somebody to the bot side, teleport over to the Baron, and take the Baron. That's the play we should be looking for here, because nobody can match Gnar in the side lane, so when they do send pressure over, boom, Guardian Gaming can control the Baron area, they get the Baron. If they try and team fight them, they should win. That's the play we're looking for. The play we're looking for on Have Faith's side, get a pick as soon as possible before Gnar's on your towers.
No, I absolutely agree. They have some time. He has to push a couple more waves before he gets there. They need to assume vision control and get a pick on someone to prevent this whole thing from happening. But if they just continue to let it split like this, it's going to go bad. Renekton goes down bot side. And it's good here. Have Faith are clearing out the ward coverage. They're doing a good job. But they've already sent Renekton bot, so this should mean Baron should be going right now.
They have a ward behind him for Mega Gnar to go into.
Oh, here's Hamcam. Whoa. Banshee's Veil is going to get popped, but he's going to go in. And there's the massive engage. Orianna Ball is in, but there's no priority targets there. Redemption's going to come through. Jinx to victory goes down, as does Orianna. TSM Teemo's in the back, and that's going to be another kill for the man with the blood. Ace in the hole connects to Tristana, but she's too far out of it already. And just like you said, there's the Baron.
Yeah, and they go ahead, turn onto the Baron. Gnar's here, joining up the fight. I don't know if they'll grab anything after this. You see Renekton shoving in the bot side. Hopefully, best case scenario, they trade a tower for Baron, but
again, they don't have the damage from Orianna to kill these minions. That she needs a lot more damage before she can more Malamacon. Again, I'm not so sure about this. You already have 400 mana coming from Hextech GLP. Another 400 mana from more Malamacon. Sure, you can spam spells, but is it going to do much?
No, not at this point. You see the items Zach has. You see the items Gnar has. Just, it's too much at this point. He's going to have the locket finish soon. Both, actually, the support and the jungler are going to have lockets. So we're talking about 700 health shields being spammed on top of each other. And they already don't have that much damage. So, it's looking very, very rough. Again, half-face win condition. Get the picks. Try and find these kills in between the rotations. But it's just not happening.
Every time they seem to find it, they find a team's fight instead of finding a pick. Every time they try to grab someone, it turns into all 5 members of Guardians Gaming jumping in on Tristana.
Yeah, we actually see very little of Guardian Gaming actually going for the engage. A lot of times it's just them responding. Yeah.
Yeah. Which is glorious. That's how they should be playing, or they should be doing a 5-man engage. Every now and then Zach will jump in, but you're right. They're mostly waiting until Have Faith kind of hangs himself on their own rope.
Jeremy has to be a little bit careful there. Can't take too many. Can't take too many balls to the face.
Yeah, he kind of keeps standing there, and it's gonna be pretty dangerous, buddy.
You see, they're trying to split up the Baron, get pressure in all lanes, probably before they group up and go for a team fight.
Yeah. Once again, Gnar's in the bot lane, and he can honestly take that tower by himself if no one goes down to stop him. And even with Renekton down there, now they have Vladimir topside. It's a 1-3-1, and they should pretty quickly acquire the pressure, and then once the side of Have Faith splits up, then they can come back together, and they should be able to pick a really easy team fight. Or are they trying to kill Fridge?
I don't think it's going to happen. You see them, they're going to go ahead and take the tier 2 top. What inhib tower are they going to group up on is the question. Decent sized wave top. I would just leave Gnar in the side lane.
Yeah, I would say send Gnar bot and send everyone else top, then you're guaranteed to get one. I think, anyway. Because if they don't send all 5 to stop you in the push main push top side, then you just kill them.
We see if an engage comes out here. They choose not to go in on it.
They're just trying to get the damage down on the tower, I guess.
Shockwave onto Mr. Jeremy. They're going all in.
They absolutely are. There's going to be Renekton chasing down onto her. Redemption's going to come through. Is it going to be enough? And it looks like it's not. Cell Division goes down, so Zach's going to stay up for a little while longer. Jinx to victory gets rooted in there. Fridge has to flash away. Turret does go down. They got 1 for nothing there. Gnar is extremely low.
That was 4 members of Have Faith on Zach, who still had passive, and they weren't able to take him down. Elise tried to get into the backline. Hello, I'm Kebab tried to dive in onto Mr. Jeremy, but there was just no damage. After taking a full Shockwave Renekton combo to the face, Mr. Jeremy, you can see him right here. He's standing above half health.
Yeah, that's just crazy.
Here they go with another engage.
There he is, right onto Orianna. No, he overshoots him just a little bit. Hamcam's going to go in anyway. Desperatus trying to find something there. Hook goes down onto Zach. He doesn't have passive, but there goes the locket. Is he going to go down? Yep, shut down in the land of the brave. And that's going to be one squishy man who gets squished.
A little too over-eager there. When you go ahead and make that dive, the whole team has to go forward after he didn't hit the jump.
Elastic slingshot, yeah.
Yeah, elastic slingshot. He just, the rest of the team just backed off. But they did get an inhib tower. They did get the inhib. They did open up the base.
They opened up the base. Unfortunately, the only dragon that's left for them to take out here is this water drake. They would have preferred probably a mountain. And it looks like it's actually not even going to be theirs. It's going to be Have Faith, because I think they're going to squash it first.
Yeah, it's good that at least they're picking something up off of the recalls of Guardian.
Yeah, they're definitely still in this. I think if they continue playing as they have, it's going to be really difficult. But if they could wait just a little while longer, we see Blasting Wand for Orianna. We see Rune and Hurricane completed, and now a Zeal, so that's going to be a lot of crit now for Tristana. She might start actually dealing some pretty good damage.
I think she still needs the Last Whisper.
Yeah,
we need
probably,
Last Whisper,
because at this point, armor.
Void Staff, still 2 more items on Ori at this point. Even after she gets a Void Staff, it still might not be enough.
Guys, they're going for that blue TS17. Well, they have it warded here. No, okay, never mind. Give it right up. And that's Gnar in the bot lane again. 1-3-1. They really like this split to get those lanes shoved in. And I have to say, it's a pretty good one, too.
They have to be a little careful here. At least is sitting in that bottom brush. Maybe trying to get a pick if he overextends. He doesn't see her. There they go. They hit the CC. He might be able to just jump out of there.
He's going to jump a little ways away. Repel's going to come through. Yep, he's just going to go out. Oh, there we go. Elastic Slingshot does connect this time onto Orianna. Jumps him back into the fight, but there's no follow-up. There goes the teleport coming through. Viktor is not going to pick up the kill yet. Ace in the hole is going to come through to secure that one. No, Hamcam steals it. Disrespect. Desarius is going to be taken out of that one pretty quickly, and now Renekton and Elise trying to find a way back towards this fight. I don't think they get anything off the back of this.
I don't think
they're gonna
so.
try,
They're
though.
still going to go ahead. Gnar isn't here. He does have the teleport if he wants to. But they're like, no, it's fine. Just shove up that bot wave. We want another inhib.
Wow, another kill for Hamcam. Picking that one up.
He's 7-1
really
and
easy.
7 right now. He is an absolute
That's
monster.
crazy.
10 stacks on the Dark Seal.
Yeah, oh, hook goes down. That's going to be Morgana, but absolutely nothing. Doesn't matter. Minions pushing up right up against those Nexus towers. They're going to fall back and get this last inhib, I do believe.
They might even be able to end the game with 20 seconds left on TSM Teemo if they're able to find another fight.
They might, but I think they're going to go safe. Yep, just back out and tutorial this game, I think.
Yeah, back, get the Baron, walk up to the Nexus. 3 waves of super minions coming in. Should be the end here for Have Faith. Who knows though? Miracle Baron steal?
I can see a Miracle Baron. Honestly, objective control has definitely been, or neutral objective control has been in the favor of Have Faith. I mean, TSM Teemo has been doing a pretty good job securing stuff, so I could see a potential Baron steal, except for that he's on the bot side right now. It's going to be pretty hard to steal Baron when you're not there.
Yeah, he should know that they're trying to do this right now instead of clearing out the Gromp. They're sending him on lane priority, so this should be a free Baron.
Yeah. Huh.
Can they make the final stand? Orianna picking up the Void Staff. 5-man Shockwave into the Tristana damage with the Elise one shot?
Maybe? If Elise one-shots Caitlyn and Orianna brings Vladimir so low that Tristana can finish her off, or finish him off, I should say. Maybe. We'll see. Gnar has Guardian Angel. I don't think so. I think this is definitely last stand. And I don't know if there's going to be any real competition here.
T-Lac lurking over the side with the Elastic Slingshot, wanting to get the engage here. They should probably just push up all these waves at once.
It looks like they're kind of just sticking around to one, but they are going to get super minions in all lanes. Wow, Tristana is dealing a decent amount of damage with all that crit and the Last Whisper, but the towers are absolutely melting right now.
There goes one Nexus tower. There's going to have to fight for this eventually. Mega Gnar
There
is
goes a
up.
4-man Shockwave. Is it going to be enough? Is there follow-up? There is some, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Redemption comes in. That's going to be Hello M Kebab shredded down. And now TSM Teemo eking out the back. Is that worth it? Gnar's GA is back up. Oh, Clumsy's going to pick up the kill. Double kill for Tristana. Is it enough? She goes for the reset. She's going to get 3. That's a triple. But Ricky Ninja flashes and erupts. And that's game 1.
Yeah, that was a great fight, great last desperate effort, but you had 3 waves of super minions hitting your Nexus with the Baron. That was just too much, too little an effort, too late. And that'll be game 1 going over to Guardian Gaming. Great draft, great job there.
Yeah, just really well played by Guardian Gaming. I think they just carried out that mentality that they have from the draft all the way through the end of the game. Really, really well done. I mean, they drafted a great comp, and they honestly played really well individually and as a team. There was no lanes that were really falling behind there on Guardian Gaming, and then they grouped up very effectively.
Yeah, taking a look at the damage. Mr. Jeremy coming out on top, 27,000. finding whatever front line was in front of him and melting it down. Hamcam on the Vladimir,
It's
another
crazy.
huge factor. 23k there.
I want to take a look at vision score because I'm a support main, obviously.
Looking at wards placed. Hang on, that's the wrong thing. I was like 27,000 wards. Oh my god.
Wow, impressive.
Obviously, both
20,000.
supports coming out on top. Emial is edging out just a little bit, 34 to 31. I mean, you can see the warding effort was there on both sides.
Yeah, there's actually not a huge difference between these two. And wards destroyed. Actually, you look at that. Thresh had 19 of them, and the next closest was Emialis with 10. So obviously they were working pretty good, but as a team, they average out about the same number of wards destroyed. So a little more on the side of have faith. They were definitely trying to deny the vision, but it wasn't coming through there.
Well, we saw that around the Dragon specifically, they had objective control, and they were able to clear a vision around Baron multiple times, which could lead up to picks with their comp. They just never came through. Every time they tried to engage, the follow-up was there. They weren't really ever split up. Gnar was the only one off in the sidelines.
Yeah. Looking at gold income real quick. Again, pretty much the same story as the damage dealt. Jeremy's coming out on top, and most of his team ahead as far as gold goes there. Yeah, Orianna was actually behind
broke.
Morgana. Yeah,
she was
that's
broke.
The no resources there for Orianna, and that again the resources she did get that went into not as much damage as maybe I would have liked to see, and it didn't happen.
Yeah, interesting build decision, deciding to go with the AoE slow over a more damage-oriented build, because it really delays her. It delays her at least an item, and when you're behind, delaying an item by 2.5k gold is very rough. You're asking for an extra like 10, 15 minute stall out.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. You're asking for more time, and they're just not going to give it to you. Even though they are a late game team, it's just not going to happen. So I guess now we get to pick MVP, right?
Ooh, MVP for game one. Who do you think?
Ooh, that it is a really tough one, and I'm tempted actually to give it to Fridge. I am.
I'm actually gonna have to say Ricky Ninja here.
You think so?
He was always there for the engages. He was able to get the Vladimir snowballing in the mid lane. He was there for the counter ganks on the bot side. He was the main engage there for the side of Guardian. Every time there was a fight, it was off of him and his engage. Fridge, not to say that he didn't do a good job, but you saw he was getting really bullied there early on in the lane, in which we thought was a pretty much Gnar dominant matchup. And pretty much during the second half of that game, he didn't use teleport once. He just stayed in the side lane. Whereas if he did TP, they might have been able to just steamroll off of more pressure and been able to collapse on towers more efficiently.
No, I think you're right, and I think you put it in a good light. So I'll let you pick MVP this game. How about
All right, then I'm gonna say MVP game one, going out there to Ricky Ninja. Great job on the Zac. Huge engages. His team followed up on him probably 90% of the time. So great job to him as we go ahead and try and get into this next lobby.
Yeah, and hopefully we can see maybe a more what's the word I'm looking for? Affluent, have faith here. Either way, should be a pretty good game. We could see either side come back out. I think have faith just needs to learn a little bit for the draft phase and try and draft either better champions late, or they need to play better early.
Well, it looked like they just wanted the team fight.
That's true.
So if you want a team fight, draft a team fight composition. They did try and get things snowballing early, but after that first teleport play bot side, it was extremely rough to get that going.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's very hard to win off of that one because, like you said, it was huge. It was 5-0 take, or sorry, not 5-0, 4-0 take for the side of Guardian Gaming. That's just really, really hard. Yeah, so just a clarification, they still lose 2 bans. Have Faith loses 2 bans for every game in the series because of their subs. So it's not just one game. So they're going to be at the same disadvantage as they were before as far as the draft goes, and that's going to make things pretty hard for them.
Yeah, because who are they going to ban? You have so many options who you could ban. Do you ban the Zac with your first rotation ban? Do you ban the Caitlyn? What do you try and get rid of that they were able to win with last game? And it's a tough choice.
Now, if I'm honest, I think you ban either first round Caitlyn or Zac. Galio, now, I like the Galio ban. Honestly, Galio scares me. But it's really hard to justify Galio over Zac or Caitlyn just because of the strength. So I think maybe we'll see the Caitlyn or the Zac first ban here. If not, then it's going to get picked in first round, obviously.
And all right, we are back going into game number 2 of this best of 3 series, the battle for second place on the Bronze, Silver, Gold competitive series. We have Faith on the blue side this game, and we have Guardian Gaming with the 1 game advantage on the red side. As it was last game, Have Faith gonna lose the first 2 bans due to late roster submissions.
And I think that's just going to put them at that disadvantage, but at the same time, they have the experience with that disadvantage now. And that's going to make it, I think, probably a little more bearable for them to do. So hopefully they'll have learned from the last game how to prioritize when you only have a very few number of bans. Either way, Malzahar being banned first out for Guardian Gaming, and that's going to be this is the second lost ban here. I think it's interesting that they make them lose the bans in the first round draft pick instead of making them in the last round draft pick. I think there's definitely an advantage if you could take those lost bans in the second round draft pick, obviously.
Absolutely, because obviously the first part of the draft is where all the power picks come out, whereas the second part nowadays is more about who can counterpick what and really rounds out the composition.
Yeah. Either way, they're going to be out of it with those first 2. So now ban number 2 for Guardian Gaming comes in. And we see the Malzahar is still banned. and now Lee Sin. So Yasuo is still at the table. The first 3 bans last time were Yasuo, Lee, and Malzahar. We'll see if that stands true. There's the Zac ban. We were talking about maybe they'll switch that up.
Well, we do see
Obviously.
a couple role switches here. Lunar Gecko in for Ricky Ninja this game. And we see Hello, I'm Kebab in the jungle and TSM Teemo top.
You're absolutely right. I don't know, was that a mess up or was that an actual change?
Oh, that's the actual change here coming out. And they go ahead, ban the Zac, and first pick the Caitlyn, which I think is the best possible way they could have played this out.
I absolutely agree. That's great. So the Caitlyn, if you pick Zac first, maybe you get countered, maybe you don't. You pick Caitlyn, you're Gucci, super Gucci. Or if you don't play Zac, I don't know what Hello I'm Kebab plays. He might not play Zac.
Ooh.
Spicy!
I'm liking it. Blitzcrank
Okay.
locked in first. Hook
Here we
City.
go.
Always an exciting game when you have the crank in the game.
Absolutely correct. Cannot wait to see how that turns out in the lane. I'm assuming he's going to take Ignite. Lunar Gecko, obviously different jungler, different pool. Picking up the Gragas. I like it. Definitely not as safe as Zac, but has unparalleled aggression just like Zac. So,
and that could be a flex to the top lane. We're not 100% sure. If they do not like the matchup in the top side, they could just flex it to the jungle. So we don't know what Lunar Gecko's champion pool is, but it is a very good possibility. And like I expected, they see the Trundle, instantly go to the Gnar.
Good pick. Good picked.
It is a little bit hard to, with that Lulu support, though. Lulu is a small counter, gets countered by Blitzcrank in that matchup. If Blitzcrank hooks anyone but the Lulu, Lulu knocks them up, especially if he hooks a tank on accident, then that's almost asking for a team fight loss at that point. But if Blitz is able to get a pick onto the Lulu herself, or maybe even a squishy member, then that's 100-0 every time.
Yeah, no, I agree. If he's able to get the hook on and start working that Caitlyn over, get her PTSD going, then it's definitely going to put Clumsy on the brink of bleeding to death. So I think the Lulu is going to be absolutely critical to try and prevent that. Like you say, try and stay ahead, try and stay equal, and engage off of those hooks. But pre-level 6, Lulu is a very difficult position there because all she has the Glitter Lance and the small shield to try and keep Blitzcrank at bay.
As we go through the second part of this pick and ban phase, LeBlanc and Vladimir banned out from HamCam on the mid, not wanting to have to deal with that again. He was going to have to pull out something new here. But on the side of Guardian Gaming, they go ahead and ban the Orianna and Lux out from Disiratus. I don't know how to say that name, but
I'm not sure either. I've been mispronouncing it the entire last game. I apologize for that, but that's just how it goes when you get amateur caster. So it looks like Mr. Jeremy switching up onto Varus, so equal range if you count his arrow as range and not a cast, or not as a basic attack. So he's not going to have the same personality as far as the character goes, though. I think he's going to have to be a lot more laid back and not as involved in those fights.
That is so much utility, though, out of that bot lane once that level 6 hits. So much free engage. Whether you hit the Blitz hook first and then follow up with the Varus ult, or whether you hit the Varus ult, then you have a free Blitzcrank hook on an immobile target. So those two champions, I think, play very well off of each other.
Yeah, and definitely the CC later on in the game is going to be very useful as well. If you've got Caitlyn or Trundle, CCing Trundle when he's bearing down on your AD is extremely useful. And so they save that last pick mid. Is that Lulu support or is that Galio support?
Don't know until the end here as Veigar gets drafted out from HamCam.
There we go. All right. So HamCam's going to be on the Tiny Master of Evil. And it looks like it's going to be Lulu mid. Nope, I'm wrong. Graves jungle.
Is that Graves jungle or Graves top?
He has Smite currently selected.
Oh, okay. They were just in the wrong order.
It
wasn't a roll swap.
Ha! Exton, you look like an idiot.
I mean, feels bad. We thought some elite strat was coming out. Little did we know.
Thought. They just boosted monkeys don't know how to arrange themselves in LCS order.
Happens to the
But
best of us.
it does happen to the best of us sometimes. So looks like we do have the one swap out. Lunar Gecko, though, coming in. Going to be fresh jungler here.
Yeah, I mean, he has a couple options to go aggressive. Like we said, plenty of CC in the bot side. Galio might be a pretty hard target with the increased resistance to magic damage, and Gragas Vygar are very heavy in the magic damage department. But top lane, free to gank. The troll will have to walk up to those minions into Gnar, who will have, again, the advantage in the ranged matchup, so...
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. Seeing this Gnar, if he performs the same way, he's going to be harassing for quite some time. Obviously, didn't quite win out the lane last time, but this is even going to be less because Trundle is even less fighter aggressive, less kill pressure heavy in lane than Renekton is. So it's much easier to taunt him without having to worry about getting traded back.
Yeah, a little something to note here, though. Trundle did just get changed this patch, actually. His Q, the Chomp, the Bite, now works on towers, so his split pushing capabilities are drastically increased. But he is into that Gnar, which is extremely hard to lane against once he gets that Frozen Mallet Black Cleaver going on. Trundle needs everything in his power to try and close the gap between those two.
Yeah, Trundle's going to have to be able to outright kill Gnar, or else his split pushing is going to kind of go down the tubes.
Yeah, we might have to see a probably a Tiamat rush from the Trundle, just so he isn't completely shoved into the tower and he has some way to push up the lane if Gnar isn't there. They might have really expected that to be a Gragas top, which is why they picked that. So good adaptation, in the draft from Guardian Gaming in order to get the Gnar into the counter matchup again.
Yeah, you're right. They could have just tried to draw that out with the Gragas, because Gragas could easily go top. Not a shabby top laner, but definitely not bringing the same pressure that Gnar or Trundle will.
Yeah, we'll see what happens here. Who do you think has the team fight advantage, really?
It is so hard to say. I honestly don't think there's really any advantage either way. I think the CC advantage maybe is in the side of Guardian Gaming, again, with Gragas, Veigar, Blitzcrank, Varus. But team fighting, you got Galio and Caitlyn. That's really big. Lulu for the backline. You got Graves. That's a lot of splash damage, you know?
Yeah, I almost feel like they want to bait out a team fight on the side of Have Faith here and just let Trundle be a menace in that top side. Maybe we can get Gnar to rotate, whereas if Guardian really like overextends and tries to get that 5-on-4, boom, all of a sudden Trundle's getting 2 towers top side. I'm not too sure how Trundle participates in these team fights unless he sits back and is kind of like a peel bot and he's able to like shred all the resistances from Gragas and Gnar.
I guess if he just hangs at Caitlyn, waits for them to dive, and then just eats them, maybe.
It is a possibility.
It's going to be a kind of like old support Trundle then, where he's really just trying to cock block everybody and steal other AD and stats. Either way, he should have pretty good luck because there's plenty of people that he can ult. However, the ideal moment for Trundle is when there's only one tank on the enemy team, because then you ult, steal their stats, and their team has no tank now. But if there's multiple tanks, you want to always ult the tankiest and then proceed to the squishiest target and bite them. Hopefully the one with the most AD. Well, Amelia's coming out with Ignite and Battle Boss Blitzcrank, taking Courage of the Colossus as per standard. Jinx to victory has Winter Wonder Lulu, which I love. Taking the Wind Speakers, very good choice. Looks like Snow Day Gnar pulling out with that fervor. Same.
I'm going to argue with you here while we're loading up. I actually don't like Wind Speakers on Lulu because all it works on is your E. It doesn't work on your ultimate. I mean, obviously, no, it doesn't.
I didn't know that. I hate Wind Speakers too. I've always taken Thunderlords, and I thought I was being sneaky.
Yeah, I mean, I think you just go Thunderlords just for the lane pressure. Like, you'll always be able to poke out Blitzcrank. And if you're behind
True.
minions, you can just go ahead and chunk out Varus to half health with a full combo. So, it's just a personal preference. That's how I choose to play Lulu in lane. Maybe they're just going to go for the scale up. Let's just max shield, try and get the biggest possible protection on the Caitlyn.
That could be, but I think it's more worthwhile to max the Glitter Lance and, like you say, take the Thunderlords.
I think, at least as far as the meta goes, they go with 3 points in E, and then they go with the max W, just to get the increased attack speed / polymorph duration onto her Whimsy.
Right.
So,
That
well, I mean, we'll
makes
see what he goes
sense.
with. We'll see what he goes with. He might go with a shield max this game. He might choose to surprise everyone and done something never seen before. But we are into the game. Game number 2. Is Guardian Gaming going to be able to close this out? The battle for second place. I'm excited. They have to be careful. They do have a Blitzcrank level 1.
Here we go. This could be it. You know they want it. All 5 members of Guardians are here. They don't have vision though, I don't think. And even if they do, he's out of hook range right now.
I'm hoping Deseratus doesn't walk out and he's like, I want to get some vision. We'll see if
They're
that
going
does
for it.
happen. Will he flash? He decides not to.
Nope. Anticlimactic start. Disappointed for Lunar Gecko not getting that cheeky level 1 hook. Everybody goes back to their standard start procedure. And Mr. Jeremy actually opted for Doran's Shield this time, instead of going with that offensive Doran's Blade. So he clearly feeling the pressure from the Lulu Caitlyn lane. Teemo starting topside this time. Last time he started blue bot on the purple side. Interesting that he's switching that up.
And junglers might meet each other here in the mid lane, or they'll choose to just do a full clear and back out. Gragas does have the option to go ahead and gank that top side. I don't know if mid is possible. Galio is just very tanky. This is nerfed Galio though.
That's true. This is post-nerf Galio, so he might be a little weaker than we're giving him credit for.
Yeah, his Q, the Winds of War, not as good with the base damages as he once was. Does have to build a little bit more AP if he wants to clear those waves effectively. So we'll see if that changes the itemization at all.
Still checking out HamCam just a little bit, but we're only 2 minutes 25 seconds in, so we'll see. It looks like junglers are rotating opposite each other. So Gragas with a full clear of his bot side, it looks like he's doing. And Graves just went with a blue wolves, so not going to be full clearing that blue side of his jungle.
Something else we're gonna wanna note this game is that there is an Infernal Dragon, so teams might be a little bit more bloodthirsty towards this bottom side of the map.
I know I am always more bloodthirsty, and if you knew which dragon was going to be first, honestly, a lot of times I would take an early pressure support just so that you can grab that Infernal, because it is really good. So if you knew which dragon it was going to be, that would influence picks and bans pretty heavily, I think. Yeah.
Well, that was the issue at the beginning of the game with the randomized dragons, as how nobody could draft a comp around it. But I think it's worked out.
Yeah. No, I'm not saying I wish that it was not randomized, but if it was not, then that definitely would, like you say, people would be drafting comps around getting that first Drake, depending on what it was.
Pretty much even in the mid lane, however, Galio is able to poke out HamCam, making a gank in the mid a little less desirable.
Yeah, and that's just going to be HamCam. Going to take that abuse and just try and survive through that lane. Obviously, Egar just wants stacks, so he's probably not going to mind it too much as long as he's pushed back enough that he can't get easily dove by the jungler TSM Teemo, which doesn't have much CC, so if he is going to get a gank off, it's going to be the laner who does the CC.
Yeah, it'll be all on
hard.
Bob to try and interrupt the jump with the pillar. Big trades going here, though. You can see how Gnar has the poke advantage, so it's pretty difficult.
Oh, Amalius holds the hook for so long. Clumsy didn't know where to go, and then Amalius did He predicted a flash, but there was no flash.
Yeah. It's one too many predictions there. And then the out predictions out-predicted the flash hook, and great dodge there by Clumsy.
Yeah, no, that was great mind games we saw there, just kind of dancing at each other. Hey, you going for it? Going. More ward coverage going towards the side of Guardian Gaming. They have a ward up here. TSM Teemo is going to have a pretty hard time of it here, like I said, ganking, especially pushed up like that.
Yeah, something tells me we're gonna be in for a long one here. We're gonna have Veigar scaling up. We're gonna have Caitlyn scaling up. Trundle's gonna want to get. Ooh! Here we go. The hook onto the bot side.
Hook. There's Amallius. Jinx to victory gets picked up. Polymorphs and shields himself. Little glitter lance. One more hook like that could result in a easy kill.
Yeah, and that's what I was talking about. How it's kind of, they both almost counter each other unless one does this specific thing. So if Blitz hooks the Lulu, you will always be in for a good time.
I have to agree, unless one specifically messes up or does this one thing, then they're kind of just neutral.
See a small engagement. Yeah. That's good damage coming out from Galio. Already going with the first part of probably maybe a proto belt.
I would think Hextech proto belt would be on his buy list here, and the Hextech Gunblade is just a solid way to build into that. So, or solid first half to get. Oh, I thought that would have stunned, but doesn't. And now, Desiradius looking for more damage, but Hamcam's actually getting better at dodging that wind.
Yeah, he's gonna have to. It's just so much damage behind that. Even with the ratios, or not the ratios, with the base damage nerfed drastically this patch.
Gragas top side of mid could help here. Desiradius looking for. Oh, there it is. There's Gragas. He is gonna zone out. Oh, nice taunt. It's gonna be first blood. Teemo now looking for more. Lunar Gecko trying to find a way out of this. Oh, almost gonna hose himself down with that one, and flash comes out from Gecko. Nicely done by Kebab. Pick it up. Wow, that tower shoots really far.
Two really good plays there from Have Faith. Desiratus in the mid lane with the 1v1 onto the Veigar. Understanding that he just has so much burst with the combo. Flashes on him under tower. Picks him up with the Winds of War. And then with Trundle Graves spotting out the Gragas in the mid lane. Great rotation from them.
There goes a good hook, though. Clumsy's going to be taken down low. Ignite goes down. Polymorph onto Mr. Jeremy. Not enough damage to close that deal. Like you were saying, though, really great job by Have Faith in that mid lane setup there. They were really, really committed to that.
Jinx has to be very careful here, but there goes the Galio ult.
It was a bait, and very well done by Jeremy and Amallius to actually get out of that one, because that could have gone very bad if they had continued.
I didn't even see that one coming, and I have access to the minimap. That was very surprising. I thought for sure Lulu was dead there, but not the case. Ooh.
Oh, Graves almost biting it. Veigar showing again. Hamcam says, hey, I'm not to be trifled with just because I got one death on me. His CS is still good, and he actually got a no magic mantle to go alongside an amplifying tone.
And despite 2 deaths on the side of Guardian Gaming early, CS leads non-existent. Completely even across the board, pretty much.
Yeah. Gnar even has tiny lead because of wave right now. Interesting fight over Dragon, that first Infernal. Guardians Gaming tried to take it, but they were interrupted by Have Faith. Good. Good trades back. Oh, Fridge, he's going to get pinned in here. He's actually taking quite a bit of damage. He has to get out. Doesn't have Mega Gnar available for some time. There's that all-in that's just a little bit better, but now he's up in that upper half of that rage bar. We could see a trade come in that would be very positive.
Man, that Q just does so much damage from Galio with that build. I'm just watching it every time. He's small engaged, and he just gets chunked.
And there's very little mana cost, too. It's very, very spammable.
Right, Nerf again, please, with the hook onto Lulu. Will this be a death? Beautiful. The ultimate comes out.
It's
but wait, there's more.
There is TSM Teemo in the wings, and Clumsy takes a tower shot as he exits, but heads up, Lunar Gecko wants more. There's no seed here. TSM Teemo is going to get stunned up. Does he have flash in his dash coming up? He uses dash, and he picks up the kill. Lunar Gecko goes down. Deseratus drains back, trying to pick up that one. Not going to get it, but that's going to be Have Fun coming out with once again, or Have Faith, excuse me, coming out on top.
Yeah, pretty big misplay, I think, from Lunar Gecko there. He had the ultimate available. He was level 6. Could have knocked Graves into his team after he connected with the body slam. Chose not to do so, but there's so much fighting in every lane.
Wow,
I'm Kebab.
So much for the 50-minute game. Fridge is actually on the run here. Ultimate's used. There's the bite. Can he get the kill? I think he's too slowed.
He does get out of there. Has to be a little careful mid here. Getting poked out. Probably just wants to recall. Graves there just to make sure he doesn't die. As he flexes those beautiful golden wings.
There's teleport. Comes through. It's going to be channeled by Gnar. Right back up at the top side. And so no early Tiamat. Oh no, there is early Tiamat. I have my characters in the wrong spot here. I was going to say, why is Trundle building a jungle item? That's awkward. But he does get that early Tiamat, so he's going to be able to push that lane in just a little bit more against Gnar and hopefully get some CS out of it.
Okay, sorry for technical difficulties. We're fine. God. That was a whole mess. Okay.
Malleus keeps trying to get a kill off those hooks, and it's just not coming together for him right now. Oh, what's this? Guardian Gaming once again trying to take an objective, but they're spotted. Oh, there goes Kebab right into the middle of it. He gets stunned up. Lunar Gecko might come back for that. Graves is coming around the backside of that Herald pit.
I like Kebab's itemization a lot right here. Getting the Ninja Tabi, making Gnar pretty ineffective at that point, picking up the Tiamat like I thought he would in Champ Select, so he's able to pretty much go even with Gnar at this point. I think he's going with a Bork second with that dagger.
That would definitely be a smart move because they have a decent amount of health you're going to be shredding. And on top of that, the active is just really good for chasing down Gnar. Twice now, he probably could have killed Gnar if he'd been able to chase him down. Oh, there he goes.
Gank.
Kebab, TSM. Good pillar comes in. There's no rage bar, not for a while. Counter gank from Lunar Gecko. They're focusing down on TSM Teemo. Ooh, bad barrel or good flash. You pick. Teleport comes through. That's going to be Vigard joining the fight. Hello, I'm Kebab. Trying to run back. Beautiful ultimate. And now here comes Galio. The counter, engage. Dives right into it.
He doing so much damage.
Bringing them all very low. And that's going to be Graves is the one here. He does not have ultimate available to him. No, yes, he does. Is he going to use it? Looks like nothing is going to come from that yet. There's a good baby cage, but the damage from that wins. They need
to might try and siege up here or get a dive.
They very well might.
Oh!
Hamcam says deleted.
He checked the calculator. He pulled out the he did the math. And he's like, this looks about right. Presses R, gets the outplay. You thought Syndra was bad.
The outplay. He gets the outplay, absolutely correct. Gonna pick up the first kill for his team, and that's gonna be morale raising for him and for the rest of the squad. When you press R, and it just absolutely annihilates someone. Very nice return jump from Fridge to keep Deseratus on his toes.
Looks like they're doing a little bit of a lane swap here. They have Galio topside, laning into Gnar, who built armor.
Yeah, I think that is because he built armor, but Trundle also built Ninja Tabi, and he's now going against Vigard, so I'm not sure how that benefits.
Wait, is he going Triforce?
Yes, Stinger? What does Stinger build into? Nashor's Tooth and Triforce, right?
I hope it's Triforce. That's a pretty interesting build there. Hook onto Lulu.
Gets him. Ignite goes down, trying to get the knock-up. Jinx to victory. No ultimate coming out from Mr. Jeremy, but now Gragas is here. Does he have the barrel available to him? He does, and he uses it to get Jinx to victory all the way back. Flash and heal used. They're going to have to back out. Here comes the man with the troll face. Is he going to be able to pillar anybody? There's the frozen terrain. or not frozen terrain, but frosted domain. Let me check that.
Yeah, pretty sure it's domain.
Frozen domain, that's the one. Yep.
There we go.
And he's under the tower. Lunar Gecko just getting the wave clear in, but that leaves Deseratus all alone topside right now. Gnar does have ultimate, or not teleport available, but he's not going to use it yet.
And they're so close to capitalizing on these hooks from Emialis. They just need a little bit more damage. Every time Lulu gets hooked, she goes ahead, polymorphs herself, and is able to get the silence down onto Mr. Jeremy, so no damage is coming out.
Okay, so we thought it might be Hextech Protobelt for Galio. He went Hextech GLP.
I guess he just really likes that item. Built it on Orianna, builds it on Galio this game. Except on Galio, that's a lot better of an item.
No, I agree. It's way better on Galio than Orianna, but I still like the Protobelt.
Is he going to go ahead and get the hook here? Knocks him up.
He's going to go ahead and knock him up. TSM Teemo's getting hooked in. Here comes the Galio ultimate, though. Boom, he's in right to the back line. Oh, look at the damage, but there's no one to follow up. And GG is going to get a kill. Oh, no one blocks for Lunar Gecko, but it still doesn't kill him. Deseratus goes down, and that's going to be HamCam coming up with 2 kills to even the game up. Guardian Gaming showing up big.
This might get scary really fast if HamCam picks up any more kills on that Vigar.
Yeah, speaking of kills, Frigid trying to get out of being killed right here. Continually has Kebab going ham all over that. I don't know if your fridge is running, but this fridge is running very far away from that frozen domain.
That was a pretty troll thing to say, as we have... I don't know. I'm sorry. That was... It was too good. It was too good. It was too good.
Anyway.
And we thought teams were going to want to pressure this Infernal. It's still up 16 minutes into the game. As again, the slap fest happens topside. Just so much damage coming out. I almost think Fridge could have taken that as he's going back into Mega Gnar. Would have been able to have the kite.
It's very close. Every time that pillar gets put up, Fridge saves his jump for that pillar. And he just, every time, edges it out. And you're right. It's at that point where you're thinking either Fridge is about to lose this or he's about to start winning this. It's really hard to tell which point that is. He gets pillared again, jumps again, and you almost feel like maybe he should have stayed and taken it.
I feel like we're just waiting for either one of these top laners to finish an item. Maybe with the Frozen Mallet, he'll be able to finally get the kite onto Trundle that he's waiting for. Maybe with the Triforce, Trundle will finally be able to get the sustained damage onto Gnar that he's looking for.
Yeah, Phage is definitely going to help that if he is getting Triforce. There's the Sheen and Stinger. It is going to be Triforce.
Yeah, I still think Blade of the Ruined King would have been a better option. Definitely a lot more sustain in those matchups. Trundle, very much historically known for his ability to sustain. But maybe with the new changes, Triforce is the business.
It could be. It very well could be the case. Triforce, I feel like, might be pretty good for split pushing as well. As we all know, Triforce deals tons of damage. Lots of it going on to Mr. Jeremy there. Deseratus going in, trying to use that slow to get him with the stun is not going to happen, but he's still going to win the trade. That wind is crazy outside right now.
As you look at the top tower, it's extremely low for Fridge. He won't be able to hide behind it much longer. But now that he does have the item advantage over Hello, I'm Kebab, we could see finally one of them kill each other.
And if one of them does kill each other, that just opens up a teleport straight down to the dragon and taking that. Here we go. They're fighting. Tiamat's procced. He's got full rage. Well, he's going to wait a little longer.
Yeah, I think this is where Fridge gets the win.
Right here.
He just has to wait out the ultimate from Kebab, and then after that, it's free reign. I mean, Alice, he goes for the hook onto the Graves. Everyone collapses.
Galio comes in as well, but it's not going to be enough to get win outright. Here comes the ult. He's rooted and he's stuck, and that is a very, very weak HamCam. Oh no, he managed to pick it up anyway. Rampage for him. Ace in the hole is still available, but mana is low for the
Alice's hook is back up, but it doesn't hit.
Almost trying for that. TSM Teemo dashes across at the last moment. This actually leaves a teleport. Here we go. This could be it. Is the Gnar going to come up big again?
Doesn't look like it.
I think he's just there
wait a
for
minute.
Pressure. Deseratus
No.
barely making it out. So close. But this is a very big prehistoric Yordle right here.
Man, these fights are just so close. Guardian Gaming able to come back from being down 2 kills early on. We're now 3-4. Gold even 20 minutes into this game.
Yeah.
I could not tell you who is going to win. This is absolutely going to come down to a wire. Somebody making a huge
I'm actually
mistake.
biting my nails right now. I'm not even joking. I'm biting my nails at this moment. Heads up, Lunar Gecko, though. Gonna make it out with that barrel. And the dragon, that infernal dragon, been fighting over for 20 minutes, finally goes down, and it goes over to have fun. Is that going to be slanting the game in their favor, or is it just going to inspire Guardians to better?
Yeah, with that, after that team fight, the members on Guardian Gamer were just too low to contest that. So good on them to notice that there was a free objective to pick up. He flashes into the other side of the wall. Thought he was going to get a little bit over it. But that is a circle.
You're right, X-Don, that is a circle, and he got caught in it. Baby cage or not, you can't flash over it, actually. At least not lengthwise. You can flash through it. You can't flash over it. So that's going to be wasted flash, and that's going to be HamCam laughing a little bit. Laughed to himself with his 4 kills. He has all of the kills on the side of Guardians here.
Yeah, he's going to be extremely scary. I'm actually curious on how much HP he has right now.
Probably a lot. Oh, wow. They're bodying out Emilius. Not really able to do much there. And so is Fridge.
Since he's finished the Frozen Mallet, he's picked up a 30 CS lead.
Yeah. Heads up, though. He still has a tower, but boom, nearsighted, and TSM Teemo is going to be chasing him down under that tower there.
Both teams running to help their top laners.
He's jumped up hugely in the CS lead, and that could mean everything. Here comes the Meganar. Oh, it's 3-on-3.
Here comes the damage from the Vigar. 5-1 right now.
Ah, that's absolutely crazy. Picks up yet another kill. Beautiful roam by him, and well done by the team getting that set up correctly.
If Caitlyn steps 1 foot too close and isn't at 100% life, she's gonna die.
Yeah. So I think they want to get this tower down topside so they can free up Fridge to do a little bit. Right now they're fighting really hard to try and do that. The wave clear from that wind is pretty good, though.
They might be able to get it here. TSM Teemo is lurking on the side. Does have his ultimate ready. Gonna be here for some supporting wave clear.
Flash forward.
Couple missed flashes on the side of Have Faith might actually end up costing them.
Yeah, that was pretty interesting. That's both the top laner, or not the top laner, the jungler, and the mid laner without flash now used for kind of silly aggression. We'll see if that comes back to bite them. Right now, the only thing is biting them is Vigar.
Something we also see in this bot lane is a almost 20 CS lead for Clumsy on this Caitlyn.
Yeah, that's just really solid pickup. I think the Caitlyn was a great choice. First tower might go down mid lane here. They're trying to keep it. It is going to be first tower. Helm Kebab, though, might pay with his life. The Frozen Mallet is there. Frozen Domain might not be enough. Good speed up. Oh, is it enough?
Does have
Galio
Meganar.
Comes in. Here we go. It's going to be another huge fight. TSM Teemo lives, and that's a kill traded back finally to Zardius. And Lunar Gecko takes huge damage. Oh, but there's
might
Baby
be
Cage
a
once
kill.
again.
Oh,
No!
yes it
There
is.
we go.
I was waiting
Kid
for
jumps
him.
up again.
I was waiting for him to come out with the outplay there, and he hits it.
This straight up outplay by pressing R and then following that with an auto attack. Well done. We're going to trade 1 for 1 there. More gold onto the man playing the tiny Master of Evil.
This game is completely on him. If he's able to one-shot a priority target before the fight even starts, that is going to be so huge for them.
If he can blow up Caitlyn or Graves or Galio, I feel like that's just huge for them. And speaking of CS, though, 163 to 160 in this mid lane. That is just crazy close. Obviously, the 6 kills makes a difference.
Yeah, and that's probably mostly to just Galio being able to roam across the map. Every time one of his teammates gets hooked or might be losing a 1v1, he's always there.
Yeah, he's doing a really good job of being everywhere. But right now, obviously Vigar is huge, but I don't know about the rest of the team. It's really close, way too close to call.
And I mean, still, we're 25 minutes into this game with not even a 1k gold lead. These teams are extremely even.
Yeah, I feel like the top lane is the epitome of this game. Look at these guys.
He has a 2-level lead on Trundle and wanted to back out of that 1v1.
Oh, there we go. Baby Cage comes in, though. It's actually going to be Galio who's the one that's caught out. Oh, nice ultimate from Lulu is going to save him, but he's going to go down anyway. Mr. Jeremy picking up a kill, and that's one more for the man with the big glove. Not Michael Jackson, no. It's going to be the tiny guy, almost with the snipe to secure it, and that's Guardian Gaming coming up big again.
Guardian Gaming is so good when they position around these team fights.
Yeah, it's the same story as last time with this bot lane. They win a fight down here out of an engage from the side of Have Faith. It's just really well done. They really play well around these team fights. Great positioning and good focus.
They should be able to pick up the dragon here as well.
Yep, and what dragon is that?
That is a Cloud.
Cloud Drake, okay. So
which will help. Fast Vigar
That
is a good
gonna
Vigar. Race car
Exactly.
Vigar. Meta
they've
build.
been roaming so much that I really don't think they're going to say no to a Cloud Drake.
Not at all. As we finally hit our first 1k gold lead of the game, 26 minutes in, which still is like no advantage though. All of the gold on Guardian is on Hamcam. 7-1 on the Vigar.
Although now, 17 CS equals 1 kill. So with that, Varus just made up the kill difference between him and Caitlyn. With the assists of 2, of course. So.
And there's still that 40 CS lead top lane. He almost has the top tower too.
Which is crazy when you think about it. Not too long ago we were saying he's not going to survive much longer under his tower. It's so low. He's almost traded back the exact same damage. This is just a back and forth top lane. Absolutely battle of the juggernauts.
Two extremely skirmish heavy top laners, but it looks like with the support of his team, they know Guardian's roaming up though. They might get caught out here. The hook from Memialis is online, hits it.
Gets it. That's going to be Teemo getting silenced. Galio's coming in, but it's way too late. He's there, instantly gets baby caged. There is no Primordial Blast, but it's not even necessary. And that's going to be double kill for the tiny Gnar. And boom, hello, I'm Kebab. Gets kebabbed and corralled alongside his teammates.
And while this was all happening, Mr. Jeremy 1v1 Caitlyn in the bot side.
Wow, this game is just... This
blew open. This just blew open for the side of Guardian. That's insane.
This is crazy.
They're going on the Baron.
27 minutes, and no one has kills except, well, now Gnar has a few kills, but 8-1 on that Vigar. The gold is finally getting spread around. Mr. Jeremy with a couple kills, just showing up. Really, I guess that he's a pretty decent AD. Take away his Caitlyn, he still performs really well.
Even with the damage reduction on TSM Teemo from the Galio ult, he was still able to burst him down before he even landed.
Yeah.
And that's what we were talking about. Would he be able to get enough damage? He has it now.
He definitely has it.
He doesn't even have level 3 ult yet.
I'm really happy with the Blitzcrank as well. He's been on point with the hooks. There just haven't been any capitalization. The Lulu pick was really good to counter the Blitz pick. It's just
not enough.
Frustrating. Yeah, exactly.
It's not enough when the target that gets hooked is having to take damage from an 8-1 Vigar.
Yep. In the lane, it was really good. It kept Caitlyn alive a lot. But now it well past mid game, honestly. Starting to get into late game here, and yeah, it's not enough. Blitzcrank is hitting these hooks and he's popping them. Oh, right as I say that, he misses one. But baby cage onto Caitlyn. Primordial Blast. Lulu saves him with the Bigify.
Well, there we go with talking about the Lulu pick.
Yeah.
Is TSM Teemo a little bit too far out here?
Here comes Galio, right into the baby cage though. Amelius gets the kill, and now it's going to be teleport. And that's Kebab coming in. That's going to give up the top lane shortly. But
They
that's
just have
Guardian Gaming coming
so
away with
much
kills.
separate forms of engage on the side of Guardian, which I really like. You have to dodge the baby cage. You have to dodge the hook from Blitzcrank. And then you have Gragas coming in there with a body slam after you've tried to dodge everything. And then Gnar slamming you into the wall.
Yeah, it's just crazy. It's so much CC and good range. I mean, Gragas can close that distance really well. Veigar has a not too shabby range on his, and Blitzcrank hook is just annoying. It's really, really solid. They sent Caitlyn top, so now they have no one to really clear this wave except Galio.
Yeah, and
He's just
Caitlyn
not
has to
cutting
back
it.
off, so that'll be a free tower on the top side too.
Wow, once again, Gnar with the split push, just really well done.
Has the Black Cleaver, has the Frozen Mallet. That's all the items he needs to 1v1 anyone in this game. And the hook!
Good hook.
The hook,
Nothing you can do
line,
there.
and sinker. And another.
Oh my god! The BM on that Primordial Blast. Heads up topside though. Is this gonna finally be the 1v1? Nope, Kebab's backing out.
He still
Even
has
if
a
he could win
2-level
that.
lead. Fridge has 2 levels on
Wow.
Kebab. He just has to kite this out. He flashes are blown.
Oh, he's not gonna be able to make it through there. Oh, Amelius looking for another hook. Doesn't get it. But he's actually getting chased now. Amelius is one of 2 people who are immortal so far. Beautiful baby cage, and the knockup from Amelius isn't going to be enough. It is. Jeremy's on a rampage. The barrel comes in. and that's gonna
Re-engage
be-
after
Jinx gets picked up.
re-engage. They keep
Beautifully.
stepping out of their base to die.
And once they get out, they can never go back. There's too much CC on the side of Guardians.
Amelius turned the dial on his hook meter. He had to adjust. he tested the wind. He adjusted just a little bit, and now he can't miss.
Yeah.
Pick after pick after pick, and after they picked up that Baron, they almost blew this open to a 10k gold lead. That is a power play if I've ever seen one.
Absolutely huge. They went from nothing to a tiny kill, and then, or a couple kills, I guess, and then bot lane tower. Boom. Baron, 10k gold lead. Almost broke open the base. There's only 1 tower outside of that wall remaining.
I was liking the Trundle pick for a little bit, maybe trying to eventually get into a place where you can 1v1 the Gnar. But I have to just not agree with these items. Instead of Trinity Force, I highly recommend Blade of the Ruined King. But before I even finish that, we have more fights.
Oh my gosh, and there's the stun coming in. Oh, beautiful! Galio's gonna come in. He's not gonna cancel. It can't be disabled, but it doesn't matter. The slow Frozen Mallet from the Gnar. He jumps right into a trap, though. Whoa, Mr. Jeremy taken kind of low there. Siege used. Trundle's back in base. Does not have teleport available to him. Gnar's still pushing this with the
Another
Frozen Mallet.
hook!
Another hook! And that's another kill for the side of Guardian Gaming. Every hook is just death.
Everyone
Instantaneous.
is so afraid of these the prison from Veigar
Yeah.
that as soon as Blitzcrank throws a hook, they're like, wait a minute, they have more CC. And then
It's
he's
so true.
oh my
He
gosh.
pulls them through. He pulls them through the stuns, so they can't even move after they land.
No
It's a
outplay.
nasty comp.
And
Oh,
another
Mr. Baby Gage
one.
to the hook. And that's gonna be Hamcam going legendary.
That is a
This is
1-0.
fish in a barrel for Amelius. He hasn't missed a hook in I don't know how long. It's so easy with the baby cage distracting them.
Oh, he finally misses one, but that was right on
Casted
Galio's
curse.
tail.
Casty curse. Are they gonna be able to clear this wave? They got so much damage. There's the baby cage.
They don't have the Baron anymore, so the wave clear is a little bit too much unless they get
Oh
another
wow,
hook.
Trundle on the backside trying to get Mr. Jeremy. Huge flank. Baby
to
Cage is
be.
going to stop all that advance. Good Lulu ult is going to keep him going. Amelia's trying to find a way out. He's hurt. Zonia's goes down from Desarius. Hamcam is legendary still as he picks up a troll.
Yeah, they have to
Oh,
be careful with
no!
that. Oh my
Oh
god!
my gosh! Unbelievable damage. Absolutely primordial.
This Hamcam is just, it's not fair
Absolutely
anymore.
popping off.
And I think he's going for a death cap as his last item.
How much AP does he have right now?
Let's check. He has 645 ability power. 647.
What is his primordial blast doing?
Let me check. 'Cause right now it is doing up to a maximum of 1600 damage.
Oh my gosh. That is crazy damage.
That's unnecessary amounts of damage at this point.
Does anyone on their does anyone on their team have even double that health? So if they go half health, it's pretty much they're dead,
Yeah.
depending on the execute level.
There's
That
no
is
magic resist on Trundle except
Whoa!
for that. That is a lot of damage coming out from Mr.
Wow.
Jeremy.
For a second there, I thought he had Sword of the Divine, crit after crit from Mr. Jeremy.
And
TP coming
They're,
in.
they're going
But
in for the
it's too late.
engage.
Here we go, Mr. Jeremy, 1v1 with Clumsy.
It's
oh,
not a
but he's gonna get
1v1
hanked up.
anymore.
TSM style 1v1 there, as Amelia says, hey, I want a piece of that. Caitlyn picks her right up,
And
slams her down.
this is just a brutal game to watch. Half Faith hasn't picked up a kill in so long. They're 4-23. Trundle drops the ZZ Rot, but to what avail?
Oh, nice stuns going down.
And it might be his death. It is.
Oh, Barbario's last again. It's off cooldown.
And they go for the
single
Baron.
time.
They have to kill TSM Teemo. He misses the
Yeah.
jump over the wall.
Yeah, Fridge is gonna pick that kill up. Galio's coming in though.
There
What's
goes
going on?
Galio. They're just misplay after misplay. 12k
Slow.
gold lead. Guardian Gaming just steamrolling.
You're
They're
not gonna
so
be able to get
ahead.
away from this. Oh my! This is absolutely disgusting to watch.
Meanwhile, the Vigar in the
Damn,
bot lane. Up,
Split
he
push
dropped
Vigar.
the cage. I'm scared.
I think he only
That's a
had-
Q.
Brutal blast kill.
That's half his health from a Q.
That's not even the meteor. It will only take 1 or 2 hits.
He's just
He
walking.
wants it. Oh my gosh! Oh no! Banshee's Veil is there.
The outplay. The outplay. He calculated it. He knew exactly what was going to happen during that fight, timing the ability on Banshee's Veil. But here we have a teleport by
Wow,
Fridge.
Fridge might have actually overextended himself. There's no baby cage to shield them right now, and their hook is a very long way away.
Yeah, he might have been a little bit overconfident there, going for that teleport so deep into the enemy base. Definitely could have made a smarter play. But
either
it
way, this
doesn't
thing would be
even
bad.
matter.
Oh, mistook by Amelius. Could have been, would have been, should
Jeremy
have been,
with the
wasn't.
ultimate out
Oh,
onto the Caitlyn.
Beautiful shields coming in. Caitlin's still alive. Jeremy's still alive, but Jeremy's the one that goes down. Galio ult's almost in place. He's going to use that Hextech GLP to get away. Winds are going to come in big. Amelius takes lots of damage. Fridge is in the flank now. Here comes the baby cage. Nothing's left, and now it's one Tiny Master of Evil versus all members of Have Fun.
This game might not be
And
over.
There it is. It might not be. That's a double the kill score right there. They just doubled their kill score. Meanwhile, Lunar Gecko pushing this top side in.
They really need to make not as many solo decisions there and just try and close out this game. Mind you, they are still 12k up ahead. We are still 26 to 8 kills. That still is a 12-2 and 7 Vigar.
This
But
is
that was
crazy.
a little
No one on
messy.
the side of Have Faith has any more than 2 kills. It's really starvation city here.
Trundle did catch up to Gnar in CS. Junglers are fairly even in CS. Mid lane dead even. And Caitlyn almost is flame horizoning Mr. Jeremy.
They're so starved right now. I think the only option they have is to open the fridge and get some coleslaw out from there or something to help them stay alive in this game.
I don't think he wants to give it to him.
I don't think so. I think he's holding his door very well shut and just dropping himself on them. And I don't know about how fridges you've moved, Wade, but all the fridges I've tried to move weigh a ton. And if they land on top of you, it sucks.
After picking up a death cap, Hamcam has 1,115 AP.
Oh my goodness. That's despicable.
And he's not even full build.
Not even full build yet, he says.
Emialis might get caught
Blitzcrank's
out
being
here.
Pulled out.
Or does he
It's the
catch
pull!
someone else out?
It was all a bait. Luluwolf comes in, and now it's going to be Gnar. Hello, I'm Kebab is trying very hard to get the backline. Lunar Gecko, though, interrupts the whole thing, spreads everyone out. TSM Teemo is in the back. He's not getting touched. Hamcam does get the kill on the Kebab. Clumsy is dealing damage, lots of it, but Jinx to victory. It's not going to go down in the fight. Disoritis is going to get picked up. Surely he will go down. He hasn't gone down yet. There it is, the final. Oh, Ace in the hole collects. but it doesn't collect the intended target. And now HamCam comes in from the side. Q is going to deal massive damage, bringing low the Piltover sniper. TSM Timo is not done with this one, looking for more as he fires water balloon towards.
They could probably just end the game.
Tiny Gnar.
TSM Timo isn't back to defend.
They're going to do it. HamCam is leading the way. One turret in between them and the Nexus, and victory for the series. It's going down quick. Baby Cage goes as well. There's nothing they can do. Oh, they're peeling off to try and fight. And
HamCam's ult is almost back up.
He's focusing the man, but it's not going to be there. Jeremy just has to auto a little bit more, and that's the series.
That is the game. 2-0 over to Guardian Gaming. I did not think that game was going to go out the way it did.
Wow, that was crazy fast. After it picked up, that game just took off and was out of control. Crazy.
That was absolutely incredible. Just such a dominant performance by HamCam. He had over 1,000 ability power at the end of that game there, without even being full build. 15-2 and 7. Emialis turning on during that mid game with the hooks.
Yeah.
Mr. Jeremy 7-1 and 13. The bot lane coming through when they needed to.
That is crazy. Damage is off the charts. Obviously for HamCam, he was just throwing so many of those primordial blasts around.
44,000 damage.
That's just crazy. Next closest was the Galio, though, with 37,000. So a ways off that. But overall, just outstanding performance by the Tiny Master of Evil, just coming out huge. And of course, I'm interested in the Vision. Emialis, 38 wards. Next closest was Lulu with 27. A little off that one. And wards destroyed. Lulu was on fire. 21 wards destroyed.
I thought that series was going to go to 3 games. I'm still shocked.
I thought we would have a 3-game series. We don't. But this leads us to a very particular place of MVP for this game and MVP for the series. And
I think you know who I'm going to say. Yeah. I'm going to have to go with HamCam. He performed extremely well on Vladimir, came back after getting target banned, picked up the Vigar. That was just phenomenal. Phenomenal series performance by HamCam.
So you thinking series MVP for HamCam?
Absolutely. Game, series, just that was insane. Insane Vigar mechanics.
All right. The outplay by pressing R was really outstanding.
I mean, it truly, like, how can you just lane against someone with that just dominant ability? He just knew what the enemy was going to do.
So that's official. Then HamCam is the MVP for the game and for the series. And I guess that means we have to let him come in here and tell us exactly how he outplayed everybody. Right? Isn't that how this goes?
That's a little bit how it goes. HamCam, hop up into Gem. Oh, he's already ready. Jesus. That's the man himself. The man, the ham, the cam. How do you feel, man? That was insane.
I'm pretty stoked after that set. It went a lot better than we thought it would.
How much AP did you end the game with?
God, I didn't see. I think it was at least 1,100.
Yeah, that was just absolutely insane.
Tell us exactly what kind of finger exercises you do to be able to press R so effectively.
So every morning I wake up and I start stretching my index finger. I do a few good pulls, and then I just like hop on League and I just spam press R and it works.
Okay. All honesty though, that first really awesome ultimate topside you killed Graves, where it was like skirmish and you're just kind of looking back and forth at each other. Xdon made a comment that you had your calculator out calculating that one because you just walked forward and pressed R. What was the deal with that?
I've played so much Veigar. If you see someone below half health and you at least have like a component item, they're dead. Like
sounds
like you just
balanced.
You don't need a whole lot for Veigar to one-shot kill people. I mean, it almost got to the point where I could literally just throw my ult at Caitlyn and she would have died. I think you saw that bot lane scare because I missed every spell, just ulted her and she still was down at 20 health.
And then you outplayed her with the Banshee's Veil.
Yeah, the Banshees. She's auto-attacking. Banshees is still there. Come on, Caitlyn.
It's too much for them to handle. Just phenomenal play through both games. What was your thought going into game one?
Thought on what? Just in general?
Just with like how your compositions played out. Like, what was your goal there for game one?
Ever since we picked up Fridge, we've been working on a lot of just like hardcore like team fighting comps where we'll have like Fridge on the side and then we just want him to come in and TP and then we just team fight people to death. That's kind of what we have been working on. So I mean, Vladimir, hard to get someone who's better at team fighting than that. Everyone takes 10% extra damage. Nar is just really good after the buffs, and then Ricky really pulled off the Zac well. It's something where like you can get the Gnar to lock people down into like Zac ult, or it's just there's so much lockdown and like poke and siege. It's in general, it was a comp that we really liked playing this last week, so we pulled it out.
So I have a question.
Right.
What changed from game 1 to game 2? Because you guys kind of different on that one. On game 2, different lineup. Obviously, pretty much Gnar was the same, but like,
Right.
What was your thoughts, especially like once they banned Zac and picked Caitlyn? Like, did that affect you guys hugely?
No, I mean we're so used to people either banning Caitlyn or picking away from us that we've lined up some secondary to carries for Jeremy. I mean he is a Caitlyn one trick, but at least he's workable on other characters.
Okay,
so it's
then I have to ask.
Yeah.
Obviously, this was the battle for second place.
Right.
So, are you thinking this is it, or are you thinking like this was the precursor to the first place battle?
Yeah, I think if we keep working on this lineup and our team comps and our strategies, I think Decimate's gonna have to kind of start taping their mouths a little, or else they're gonna look stupid. I mean, they already look stupid, but I mean, they're gonna look even more stupid.
Jeez.
Wow! All right, called out. Officially called out. Decimate, tape your mouths, or behold the stupidity.
All right, and that's pretty much gonna end it up here, guys. Thank you for watching. GG's to Decimate, not Decimate. God, I'm sorry. GG's to GG's to Guardian Gaming, as I think they now take second place in the standings.
Second place by 1 point and head to head.
Phenomenal game. Congratulations on the MVP. And that'll be it, guys. I'm Xdon. I'm with Starman.
I am Starman.
And goodbye.